94.7 Asempa FM. Suni all talk all day. Ekosiisen Nugs yede bremono. Ma menkai mo se Franco Trading Enterprise, Phone Papa Fie, TCL The Creative Life, Dependable Herbal, Omode Ade Adom Malakio, Aba, and a Global Lighting Center Limited. Imekwe Boying and the idea and discussion segment here, Bremo, Heaven Insecticide Spray and Coil, and Napa Foods, Hepa Plus Mixer, Consolidated Bank of Ghana, and a Mutlu Battery, or Monsweso and Asen de Ekosiisen Eba, EcoBank Ghana, Sasem Pharmaceuticals, Awake Purified Drinking Water, and a Rockstars Roofing Systems. Yawa Agbeve Herbal Center, Momo Milk, Yara Ghana, and a Las Palmas Food Center. All the three candidates are exhibiting great and laudable ideas. May the best candidate win. Also, may the best candidate, which is Sylvester, win. Greetings to Captain Jabari and all 10 KNUST executives. Roxin Fosu, 10 KNUST PRO. Very interesting debate ongoing. Kudos, Boss Obi, for organizing this. We, the delegates, are watching, and this will surely inform our decision come Monday. Kwabena Asante Akana. Good afternoon, Obi. Dennis was my SRC president at UCC during my first year. Before God and man, he made me love UCC. It is during his time that he established over 20 summer huts at both Old Site and Science, which aided in student learning. He instituted a UCC student loan fund sponsored by the SRC Generated Fund, I believe, in his Nyadiji agenda. Okay, Koba GH, in Praeso constituency. And on the way, Abba. Boache has shown consistency in becoming the Nugs president. He contested with Jihad and lost. His sacrifices and commitment to the cause of Nugs, even now, is mind-blowing. I think we should support him for him to continue the good works he started. Sameh Dakwa, former SRC secretary and former USAC general secretary. Obi, good evening. I would admonish you to listen to Dennis Ampofo-Appiah Labi very well. The guy is an orator and a visionary. He is really a solid guy for Nugs and Mother Ghana at large. He happened to be my hall president of Ogwe Hall and SRC president of UCC. He doesn't easily forget his roots and purpose when he's in power. Team Dennis Beye Nyajidie, Ni Odate inside Bubuashi, and a former comrade of Ogwe Hall. Obi, the three Nugs gentlemen are phenomenal in their submissions. I pray that the outstanding one wins. Thank you, my brother. Ekosiisen Nugs 94.7 FM. Ma Yemra back. This time I think I'm starting with you. The question on the table, the aura around Nugs in times past, as it is here, how do you plan to bring it back? And we dovetail that into the questioner. James Kwabena Bomfede say, for more as individuals, say there are more political affiliations near there. How do you plan to take on the current administration as president of Nugs? Mamintio Dennis.
I think in recent times, and as in the last few weeks, my position on the issue of partisan politics and our politics, infiltration in Nugs, has been very clear. We've all stated publicly what our stand is on this matter. I stated clearly and emphatically that I do not believe that partisanship should be a part of student movement. This is where I come from. I derive it from the letter and spirit of the Nugs Constitution, which says it shall be a non-partisan organization. First of all, it is not wrong to belong to a political party. Mm-hmm. It is not wrong to be affiliated. As human as we are, our inherent want is to belong. So we all belong to political parties. It is not wrong. But what is wrong is when your political party affiliation affects your student interest pursuit. This is the difference. There is a political party affiliation and there is a student interest. What I have been consistently saying, I'm a Ghana school for leaders at Chow across the country, and they say, see a man as you say lead Ghanaian students for 1 year, me pa Chow suspend like for student or political interest and to work for 1 year. Now look at the bigger picture. What the difference is that for me, I think my objectivity as a person and as a student leader is clear, and the track record is there to show. In 2016, I led the coalition of SRC presidents to kick against utility payment, which was a policy mooted by the NDC government. I have publicly condemned policies and actions of the NDC. I have publicly condemned the actions of MPP. I have publicly commented on the public university bill and stated my reservations on some portions of it. The difference would matter in objectivity. I don't believe in neutrality. Minjin this will be over on the Osunyina baby. Baby, but the Mr. Ghana for say, see a two about my student leader. Yen should be a political party who's soon on friend Juran who be brave. Yes, sir, it affects our credibility. Or Kasa, instead Senka, your best substance, no, not in a party approach. We should have someone all credibility when it comes to speaking to issues and being objective. Obia, at least ye nim say the both political device would be comfortable approaching issues with him. Someone who will stand firm. The oral I can want them say oral be there ba oral be there ba. Minia do diechi usua do die ni munante. The leader sometimes speaks about the people. So whoever we elect and as nipa begin no say on the union anim no fire or the ba ejai woni mo or the ba advocacy or the ba on board and a try what should happen. In my brief history as UCC SRC president, there be a the difference is track record. Say me we UCC no manye buga but I achieved things for students. Manye no yenshi but I achieved things for students. We've moved past the years now yeshe cars, yeshe ties. Right now we are at a point that we can be strong without being violent. We can be strong without necessarily spoiling things. We can be strong in our advocacy and our dialogue. The here is a student leader be no. He must not relegate advocacy. In this way, nipa on timin jina simpie so nkasama school for. As say o nipa ye man akonya se onkasama mobroni akra na oten ntromo so na 98 kilometers ansan wako school no. As say otimi kasama sa akra no. As say otimi ma sa akra no a voice. Sa akra no oni akonya na wanya as Nugs president. Wono wanya akonya wo de share the president of Ghana. And when he say kika we can still discuss issues, become the vibrant point that we used to be. Another way of bringing the oral back is what I call relevance. Senior, if we say abofre huninsa hohura onim penyimfo eton sedidi. Union yi ade ba kwa na nipa bebre eboy abaso the relevance we had in the system. Relevance when it comes to policy issues. See din command na union no etimi adwen ekruchi ideas on policy. Another issue so funding yi minim se obeba ho but the make kan yi se wo sere obi ma wadwane dia o control. So bi o sere ni sika sere bia boss ma miskanto adwane o control. Say union yi and finding very innovative ways of generating money. Na the BSC ebeko akosere political actors, any parties, any agencies sika, they would always have a way of controlling us. So meme model am proposing and say finding a way to ensure that the numbers kakakano we can have a way of generating funds and ensure that the union is independent. So Sabe bill now become issue on funding.
On funding now.
But at the end of the day, what I have been able to do is say, the issue of credibility of the leader we elect. Nipa on for partisanship and join who be brave. Our credibility. Nipa or what track record when it comes to objectivity. Even the issue of relevance.
Yes.
Said union must be relevant. We must be part of the policy and the decision-making table by proposing alternatives. Said we should look at our funding structure very well. Obi.
Okay. Medase, Dennis, we'll come back on the funding bit and then I pick your thoughts on that. But Doc, on the aura around Nugs, I be free say a free ho. How do you plan to bring it back? And what will be your relationship in terms of taking on the current government as Nugs president?
All right.
Thank you
very much. We all know that Nugs has had a very significant part of our history. Talking about things like the Akosombo Accord, Mr. Idi actually spoke into the show. I remember his time when he came all out on the fight against utility bill. There's also another thing to note that under the Kufuor's administration, through the Ministry of Education, there were times where they made allocations and subventions to the Nugs. And so that helped Nugs in terms of its administration, in terms of, I mean, when there's that feeling that the money is coming from the taxpayer and there's some form of governmental support, then at the end of the day too, it gives leaders that kind of direct bend towards the student out there on the street, that little boy at Bosco Primary who has no access to IT education. I believe that that is one of the options we need to look at, but then I'll talk about that in detail. Obi, talking about Nugs, I was very glad when my brother spoke about the issue of track record. And Obi, not to spite my brothers into the face, but I'll say this. In the Tinkaro Gombela election, Dennis was the EC to one of the Nugs sides. I mean, at the end of the day, his role enhanced a bipartisan approach of Nugs. I mean, not to spite him on this. The other issue is about
a bipartisan. I'm not sure saying
in terms of we had a twin division. We had the twin Nugs system, and doing YB was a CS. Some of those issues came up around that time. Obi, I was SRC president of University of Ghana 2018-2019. We held press conferences on the University of Ghana campus, and people like myself, Sylvester Makun, people like the current general secretary of Nugs, Divine, who let's call a spade, is known that we're on different sides of the divide, but we spoke to issues like accommodation crisis. We held press conferences in the heart of the diaspora. Obi, when it comes to issue of advocacy, coming into SRC, there had been an issue on the University of Ghana campus where we've had one transport service monopolized transport for 4 years, and they were increasing shuttle fares. Together with SRC president, we reduced shuttle fares from 1 cedi 50 pesos to 1 cedi, which benefited about 7,000 students in the University of Ghana. Obi, and let me tell you the effect of that on students. If someone had the morning lecture at 7 a.m. and had another evening lecture at 5 a.m., then you realize that person would have spent 6 cedis on transport. But with the joint advocacy that we did with TESCON, with TAIN on campus, students now were spending 4 cedi if you had such a situation. Obi, we are talking about we advocating for remarking of critical thinking and many things on University of Ghana campus. Obi, myself, former SRC president of UCC, John Podo, we sat in meetings at Presbyterian College of Education, facilitated unity talks between Dr. Frank Amakohene and Bosheba. Frank Amakohene is my classmate. At the end of the day, we held discussions. It didn't happen that year. But what happened was that year, the subventions that the University of Ghana had allocated to Nugs, what we did in good faith was not to go and support any of the divided fronts. We invested that money into better ventures for students in Ghana. Obi, when it comes to issues of advocacy, when it comes to issues about talking about security, myself and Kelvin Sarr, we are talking about, we on GH1, we advocated for many things, talking about the security of students, talking about issues like student loan, working with both sides of the divide.
Okay.
So I feel that on the issue of party politics, there's nothing wrong with having an affiliation, but I think that we all as students must be able to converge on issues like student loan, issues like the rising accommodation deficit on campus. Half of the population of UCC, they live off campus. The Kwapons and the Elizabeth Says have not been able to house people in Legon, and today Legon is running a double track. Not just because of COVID, but partly because of accommodation crisis. The situation in KNUST is the same. So yes, we can have affiliations, but we need a leader that can bring all parties on board. And I must be very frank to you. I had one of the most balanced SRC committee and executive body. I have people in my administration who are loud on different colors, and we work together. At the end of the day, it's not about what colors we are in, but being able to converge on issues of student security, student loan, issues like accommodation crisis, issues like many things, sexual harassment, women empowerment. And that, I believe that the Sylvester Mako-led Nugs administration has the track record to be able to deliver on that. Let me not talk much.
Fantastic. Dr. Sly, and you're in Kano. Ma Mimra YB ho. YB. on advocacy aura around Nugs, relationship with governments in power. At least in the next 1 year, no, it will be with the NPP administration. How do you plan on navigating that tight rope, no, as Nugs president?
Obi, you share union no Nugs. First na hode ani kura. Na ode toto na. Ye be ka se ahwihwan kakra. Na nokre na ewo mu ne ye se omo anu mo ho dada no. Sene omo fa so eye neoma. Edane neoma ani. Wa bra no mo office no. On see yesterday no bobo list bi. No abo wedding, no abo ne party. No abo wedding na di we asha. No abo wedding na di we ato ha. This should tell you say eye empanyinfo Ghana say see you know. They know the strength of the union, and on that note, at any point in time, they find ways and means of handling various student leaders. Now, I won't take a hypocritical stance on this. Yeah, what you name say, we belong to political parties. At least, yeah, in Ghana 1902 constitution, say, when drew 18 years,
you can vote.
Utimi, the OPBA when it comes to politics and then the others.
Yes.
Yeah, that notwithstanding. First, no, na obi oho odi kan abeko or contesting Nugs. Yes, sabi we ye MPP ni and we ye CPP ni. Now me kwachiri na I stand to be corrected. Mebo obi din. Dr. Ajeni Mboaten. I think that timer now ye ana ofusu kwache Ajeni Mboaten na ofusu kwache. Tama no ye Nugs president. Now it was believed say or belonging to a different political party. But as we speak now, let's ask ourselves say timer no ye student leader no. Party and yes belonging to no. Is it the same party that he belongs to? Anna. Now we should also understand say a year student front no edaho eson. Yen various students no obia ne baby oyeden odidiko. No obia nso ne baby odi agro yeden eko. On the aspect of political infiltration and others no, we can never do away with it till the politician decides say this time more students no na omunya dues direct from source ne chere say Ken University 8 year dues on fan share SRC president nsem but omo abeji union no account na omo atua ye den atum omo betua no abra no wa abra enye union no na o se chase institutions no for sad dues no. Na me gidi say yes statisi yes anoma we ya now ansa na menua slide Dennis anase me ye beko politician no akopem wa no one ye nkoso omumfa ye nhye akiri anase ye nkoso omunye bibi ba ye kose ye corporate funds ye kopesika e de ayeden ababebo ma union akoso now obi kan o de bonkum ko a ono nso de nifa be den ebeba. Until at the end of the day, you have to meet one way or the other. Now, a non-interest say you should be in bed with a political party. At the end of the day, baby, I was a oka na assume for one eto mono. I also now ye. There was a oka government na buying ya. There also born about so. I also now ye day. Oh yeah. Now, Obi 2016 academic year 2016 17 academic, no 15-16 academic year, Ken University. I was awarded Student Activist of the Year, not because of anything, but simply because when there were issues on campus, we stood up to it, we approached issues, we spoke about it, and at the end of the day, we won that on merit. When it comes to Student Activist of the Year, I think I've won some on several platforms due to Enyoma Yeyeden. Yeah, for Ghanaian students. Now, the aura of the union, no, and yes, say, yebejina platform so near Kasakeke. And now, say, or donna, na say, send an amount for T union in Kana. And so, yes, say, ye cotina radio so near Kasakeke. at the end of the day obia owo send na meka say me call sehwedabi so 3 days ago am bedu enra no obi owo sehwedabi so a onte National Union of Ghana Students eda na yanam kwan ho yehu say ne nchensen basic school enchense dan atutu na say union ni hunu ehon kwan na okoboa na okobo chense dan ne so na obi ehun say okay National Union of Ghana Students eye dwumakuo sei na omo ye den omudi ya me ye sure say the aura around the National Union of Ghana Students no ebeba back tete no na advocacy no was on establishment of certain things. Yebe can get fund, yebe can sell TF, yebe can NSS, yebe bodini bebree. But ye musa say yeah time we no. Then I sorry I hear then. Yeah. A women empowerment program ni atena se ni akofre nipa bi no abeka sa we are no ye den. Oko de owo school mu na onti union nka no. Then yeah ama ono nso ahu se National Union of Ghana Students den. Okay. Now obi enioma bebre kwan bebre ni ebefa so ama amanfo ate National Union of Ghana Students nka enyesi ebegina radio so ani ebegina TV so akasa nko a obi wo ho amene wo kasai Asempa radio ye kasai onti Asempa FM obi wo ho nso a otie but emfa ne ho but who go to them akoye bibi ama o mahu se ade we de nkofo we na ayeden abeya amayen no ochina bi ba bi obegina bia na obeka ye hu se National Union of Ghana Students join the leadership of Yadom Boachi Emmanuel abreso ne ye ABCD de bia omo de beden ebeyen kaya asem na omo ka ho asem enti se pese union no ana Nugs ora na attach no na eba first no omo ye demonstration na hu se demonstration we de omo ye pa enti se na Nugs president okaso ye demonstration one we our members or executive members in kwebi omonye den omoma na nkampese other students from other institutions are den
okay aba why be my nase me da se papa enti all of you have responded to this. We'll deal with the final issue of interest to students, which is how the union can be funded and funded well. Very, very, very important. But James Kwabena-Bonfe comes through with some suggestions, or say, I suggest that whoever emerges as the next president should take up community outreach as a way of regaining the credibility of the student body. Some things like free extra classes, free community cleanups in conjunction with MMDAs, supporting students with financial challenges in general, creating a platform for periodic student face-to-face engagement, such as Legon Speaks, UCC Parliament, etc. It is also not too wrong for them to have a student mouthpiece, a newspaper, or an online portal. And these are some suggestions that James Kwabena-Bonfe thrown in. At least, munyina mubitimi afa na mode edi juma. So let's deal with the final issue. And Yemra Akani Usimabe edu miense bina ya sorry edi free jumedie eso. And let me remind our listeners, there is live commentary from the UEFA Champions League and a semi-final. PSG and the Manchester City here, but the live commentary Bremo in the Monchan and so was here. Sorry, my sports team to take you over. Now 7 p.m. at the live commentary in Etwa Moso. And the doc, I'll start with you with this final one on how the association can be funded. And we know met time because of timing. 3 minutes each. Movie and 1 minute. No, be adding the concluding remarks. Right, in the 3 minutes, funding.
I'll talk on the bit about the funding, but in 30 seconds, I want to talk about the outreaches. One of the interesting policies we have here is the Nugs Coach Clinic. And then the Let's Help initiative. Nugs Coach Clinic is directed towards the SHS schools. We want to go to the SHS schools. We from the tertiary have talks with them and mentor them about what options they have in the university. So we have an initial about 7 coach clinics: medicine, pharmacy, nursing, law and political sciences, engineering coach clinic, business school and all. You realize that sometimes many people just choose courses and then they come out. So it's one of the things we want to do to reach out to our siblings in the SHS schools and also in the JHS schools. what we want to do is that we want to actually establish about 8 IT centers in schools, of which 3 is in the northern region. I took a tour to the north and I went to a school, Bosco Primary, and there was not even a single PC in their IT center, and no one knows if the next Bill Gates is coming from that classroom. So in terms of representation, these are some of the things that we want to do, especially with our SHS people. Go out there, reach out to them, tell them about life in the university, and also build the brand of Nugs. They are part of Nugs, and we need to pay particular attention at them. On the issue about funding, Obi, I'm suggesting 3 things. We are going to work with the Ministry of Education to have subventions from government. I mean, if all we are going to rely on at the end of the day is just dues from institutions, then I believe that the net of being able to reach JHS schools, kindergarten schools, and all those things may not be catered for. Now, the other thing that we want to work on as next administration is to work together with Ministry of Education, Vice Chancellors Ghana, SRC President, and make sure that Nugs dues is paid at source, working together with all the bodies. And I'm not just looking at Nugs alone, but I'm looking at how Nugs as the mother body can bring USAG, can bring TAG. They have a good system already, can bring USAG, can bring NASAG, and all those things, so that at the end of the day, there's a baseline amount of money for these bodies to be able to work out on. It's sad to know that during COVID, most of these bodies were handicapped, and they had to rely, it was just about writing communiques and doing seminars. Of course, they have their place, but these are 2 other alternatives. Now, I'm talking about raising 1 million Ghana cedi for Nugs. And I had a problem with one of my opponents, say, we won't go begging. The challenge is that everybody in this country is an alumni of Nugs. 1 million cedis is 1,000 Ghanaians giving us 1,000 cedi each, or 500 Ghanaians giving us 2,000 cedi each, or 2,000 Ghanaians giving us 5,000, or anybody in this country contributing to it. And we must be able to submit ourselves to the Auditor General to be audited. It creates a certain level of credibility, and we are going to do that. We are in running campaigns. What we do is we get our friends to support us. We have 100 people giving 100 cedi each, that makes 10,000, or 50 people giving 50 cedi each, and that makes 2,500. That principle can work if we are reaching out to CEOs, if we are reaching out to parliamentarians in general. Then at the end of the day, one from this person cannot say that, oh, I funded you, and so at the end of the day, do my bidding. But you see, that is a temporary solution, because at the end of the day, over the next 1 year, we'll need money to start doing the 8 borehole project we want to do in the teacher training colleges and nursing colleges. But in the long term, we are proposing a 5-year plan, of which we have one, the Nugs business desk. We want to empower and work with various institutions. One of the projects that we will want to work on, of course we may not finish, is the Nugs water project, talking about bottling water, talking about sachet water, because at the end of the day, we have thousands and thousands of members in schools, and if we can take advantage of such avenue, then I believe that we will be going towards a Nugs beyond aid, which I've preached. Obi, now finally, on issues about the cards students buy to check results and all those stuff, we as Nugs must be able to have quotas on this. And this is something that as Nugs president, as Nugs president, we are going to sit together with SRC president, with Ministry of Education, with all the necessary youth agencies, and make sure that we have quotas on these scratch cards and on the form that people are buying for universities and all. We must have the ability to raise funds. It's not enough to say that, okay, government give us this, give us that. But these are some of the avenues that we want to use to raise funds. But in the first 100 days of office, we are going to work together with the Nugs. I'm going to work together with my secretariat, local Nugs president, Nugs alumni, and raise 1 million cedis temporarily
1 million
to start
cedis in your first 100 days.
Yes, addressing the issues of Nugs. It's possible. And let's hope. Hope's alive.
Yeah, that's it. YB, you have your 3 minutes. Funding for the association.
Obi, I'm say, na why you didn't kakra, and then I thought that you do say, one case out to meet you, na at a point you become so shocked and wowed, but I can't be. Yeah, at the end of the day, I'm say Ghanaian students would put all of us, sieve us, and at the end of the day, say they would vote for the best candidate. Now, when it comes to funding of the union, I'm say most of the funding over the years, or the union has over relied on the payment of SRC dues, which at the end of the day, I believe has been affecting the union indirectly because Oshe dues na school be or say Uncle Congress, there's no way they will release their dues or others to you. And now, apart from dues, and so now, getting monies or funding from politicians, businessmen, and other individuals and companies, has been the norm. Timmy Fan say, union, two sources of funding has always been with dues or grants and then other stuffs from elsewhere. Now, there's one outgoing executive called Abud Atuli, who is of the view that Yadom Boache, I've been able to get a land in the north. That is around Wa. That's where he comes from. During my time, we wanted to have a farm. And I believe land in the next 3 months, yenye dua brunko adia yebetimi etwa nianya bibi yeden ewoso. So I asked him, nti ade nti na mo time mo anya den mo start. No say why be on say COVID no na then so he said a lot. And at the end of the day, I think I bought into his idea, because if he can get the land na obetu ne ho asiho as a former student leader na obeboa ameya start here national service ewo farms ewo ajira which is giving them much money and then a lot of staffs. At least if the union is able to start something of that sort, I believe Ochinabi and Acha in the next 4 months or some few months after cultivating the product, yebetimi enya na Ghana fo enya so mfa so na at the end of the day proceeds na ebeba no eno nso beba union ne ho na de e de wo ho nso ne yese eyesa product na ebeba no e bia na school bi ewo ba bia omo find a some problem. The union can go in and then make sure say a yes institution na omo part of the union, but a be a true one way or the other omo nyoma bi nkoye no yebetimi nso akwa support o makoboa omo na omo nso bibia omo hwehwe bia no nso ayeden ayeye nti obi de bia meka ba bia meko bia na mebisa executives ne say obia enene nsema oka when they are seeking for office na busa ho say ne nipa yi kan me am ye SRC president, me am ye local Nugs president, me am ye executive. In the few months, ananye okano se ujai me a, can I be able to do it? Se put yourself in it. Na hu se a very realistic. Me ankasa ujai me na me ye nebetimi ye dia. Then you should have trust in the union. Send ye hwehwe se ye beye no. Ye ya ebetimi ayeden. It all boils down to management. Okay. And I believe say the past executive now what to ne ho asiwo so obeboa ameya no say ye jasha nensa na ye puti proper laws and regulations in place ochina bi send a national service scheme a boosty of a farm omo ye fuo ne nyoma bebre wo so no the National Union of Ghana Students can also boast of the same thing. Na menim say eno nso will be an avenue or chinabi no obi nso betimi di ayeden e de anya adwuma nso ewo.
Fantastic. Inti YB ena yatin and canon has proposals for funding the National Union of Ghana Student. Dennis Labi Ampofo. Dennis mientie in the next 3 minutes how you propose to fund Nugs.
Medase be bracing ahobrase mu a time bia say ye ma akonya say lead a group of people ade ba ko say uja a track record that chimbino if you come up again people can refer to you for it. And into all my work I always want to leave a track record to ko UCC a student welfare assistant fund It's my initiative. We are sure so when in ATLFM, building an ATLFM home CCA, I completed and finished it as SRC president. The American United say, Bibi America say me a track record. On the issue of funding, the issue of raising money, donations, going to beg and all that. I understand it. That is what the union has known. And then a year, dues, money, donations. But this is what I've been proposing. Economy ye woman, so pay nipa 1,000 mama 1,000 cities. I add in kakra. I dare say I cannot crash there. This is how I propose. Let us find an innovative way of raising money without necessarily begging. Dear Mekeni, I share in the vision of the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana when it comes to the issue of digitization. And I've said that I'm proposing, let's build a Nugs app. Let's build a Nugs app, an application system, a software. The resist Gamma Union. How do we do this? Nugs app no, the mama ni want to say any generation fund pay. Makan resource center, information desk. Makan normal be bribe it counseling unit crab it app no so. Me we na maba in the issue of raising money with the app through digitization. The world is moving fast. One, in be 200,000 plus and they check it on BEC results every year. What's the results every year? Check it through a scratch card system. The American say through a discussion with WAEC, we can build an API that would connect the scratch card to the Nugs app and mobile money interface. Instead of say students we go to 15 Ghana cedis, no ma check your more software or more grade cafe no. Let us go and use Nugs to buy the code, build the integration, the gateway, construct the software or the API. I'm betting you check your more resource by a single click on the app. Minia, and very simple. I'm on air. Software developers are listening to me, and if I'm lying, they can know that this app can be constructed in 3 months. You bet me check a resource also. You check here, instead of 15 CDs, no. Why Toma cafes no at 5 CDs? You find you almost 7 CDs. Yati omo kana subi anameboa. But yati omo kana subi nu, you get 2 CDs. Say 2 CDs na say mu half pe. Crash check your resource. That is 100,000. 2 times 100,000 is 200,000. Meaning, with a single click, we have solved a lot of our problems. We've created a system that students can read and research on. We've created a counseling unit. We've also created a huge revenue generation platform. And if they tell you it's not possible, catch on say, Pensa Ghana app no, it is a revenue generation model. Catch on say, Pentecost Youth Convention na yekono, ye buki etuya via mobile money. The company that built it is called Owatech. It was an API. It did make catch Ghana phone say ye school for at the be a tip phone. 2 years also a school for whole population. You see be big free China for no. They didn't have a lot. They've used their population to build. We can use our drive for computers and phones to build. We can use our numbers to build. What we do, or the difference is that at least innovation has come to bear. Digitization has been improved. We are switching, we are moving our people towards a more formal economy. Students, right from day one, will start having interest in some progressive things. I don't have a problem with Instagram. I don't have a problem with all the social media platforms. It makes me happy to see that people are generating money from it. But I have a problem that we don't have indigenous platforms such as that. Our students will be glued to it. Meaning, raising money from the app, I've shown the model. And I've said that this is very possible. All we have to do is sit down with WAEC. I'm going to check the results now. They go straight to their mail. Straight to their mail, then they can print it. Yati school forecast. Yes, also generate ska. The difference is that we can be able to use ideas to build our union. I agree with a lot of things, such as taking the dues from source. I am from regional SRC that took dues from source, so I appreciate that concept. and I would pursue it. But the difference is that we must be innovative and see the different ideas. I be changing the student front of our country. Eba, Obi, you see the fire in my eyes is because these are possibilities. These are things we can do.
Okay.
And these are things we can achieve because students are sitting on their phones. JSS and Kwanomu school, senior on phone. So, and we can as well utilize that challenge to become an opportunity.
To become an opportunity for Nugs. Thank you. Enti Dennis Labian Pofo and Etienne Kano. Ekosiisen Nugs. Unfortunately, this one would be ending, but not until Semunyinamo demo closing remarks. But now is the time to speak directly to students of the country why they should head to the polls on Monday and vote for candidate A, B, or C. Ansana Yako. I think the last round they may start with when I walk on. Yeah, into you are starting this final round. And you have the opportunity in 1 minute speak to Ghanaian students ATU across the country why they should vote for you on Monday. Why be?
Yebeda Ghana for us obi bia, but before some end no me chocho mucho ba ko pa na birthday. A friend Clement Frimpong.
Oh, okay.
Dodo na friend 2 million. Odi na odande.
Okay.
Abrante nyaminsha ba bia obi na abrante bi so legon ye friend na naji. Ono so nyaminsha ni bebre. Na eye abra ye ko school mu ye ba pro ye di nkomo ye sere suafo se omon enhwe nsem a ananeoma ye de baso na omunya ye mugide no omonto aba maye no. Eneoma ye de ko apro no medical mebobosu bia a student loan trust fund reforms. Now, as part of student loan trust fund, and one, a reduction of interest rate on the student loan trust fund, 12% every year, 48% in 4 years. Esododo, you're paying for more no money. So my advocacy in a honey besha free. The etosu mienu inclusion of trainees, which is teacher trainees and nursing trainees, on the various scholarship schemes as well as the student loan trust fund. Omunyina ya Ghana esua for yemfa allowance 200 ne 400 cedis no enje scholarships ne student loan trust fund ebi mo jeje no ema meje omunye den emoso. And then lastly, se unya GMPC scholarship ya mo award letter. But nuanom omo ekra SLTF omoye beneficiaries of SLTF, they don't have award letters. Inti se uwo issue ewo school when it comes to payment of school fees aji se oko omo secretariat ansana omo letter omo de aba. Now as part of your SLTF reforms no and also eka ho bi ye be hese ana ebe advocate se SLTF ebe ma beneficiaries ni nyina no award letters na ochina bi say onya issue ewo school when it comes to registration or the award letter ne ko and you are reshemu say enye den student loan trust fund den ebetia. And then the second one I'll talk about enso ye donate a book which ne ayini nyina na say schools dodo na no basic schools dodo na no obeko no students ne kire exercise classwork different ewo book baakum na house suafo no nti as a union ye be use ye din ye kese ne number dodo asresre books pens ne pencils ne de akoche ye nuanom omo nso ye den ewo akiri Nugs debate ewo ho about the national science and math quiz about a platform for bia. And then rewarding
number say on the ballot paper.
Me pacho me number 2.
Yes.
Rewarding the stewardship of the local executives. Here me pa. Student leaders, local executives, and omuko meetings of the various student unions. But omu school na, school corner omu wono, certificate pen omu yede omunya. Meanwhile, the time omu waste here, risk omu take here in attending Nugs or the various national student unions goes unnoticed. And the Yadombachi is proposing say, this time we will give every local executive and then appointees a certificate of appreciation near the Adomas.
And the YB is number 2.
Yadombuachi mano number
paper.
2 on the ballot sheet. Yes, Regan is for Omunye Mwarishimuni Gidi, na inimse Jumani Beye, engineers deeds and not words.
And not words. Yeah, that's it. That's Yadom Boachi. First name here, Emmanuel.
Yes.
Yadom Boachi Emmanuel, number 2 on the ballot paper. Ma Yemra Dennis ho na Doc Eddie Ewie in that order. Dennis, speak to Ghanaian student in a minute.
Senior and a gun of school for multi I've run a campaign that is substance based. Over the last 1 year, I've come into your homes in all humility. I came with policies. When me propose here, you are told it's not possible, but I still stick by it with an implementation plan. I have told you that I would establish an entrepreneurship hub that would provide technical support unit, that would provide a financial support unit, something I did in UCC, track record. I have told you that I would establish a Touching Lives project that would focus on support to our students living with physical challenges, something I did in UCC, track record. I have mentioned that I would establish regional SRCs in the various regions, something I started the Central Regional SRC, which had senior high schools in Central Region, track record. I have mentioned that the Nugs app is on my heart. Senior, I know a damakoma so. If Ghanaian students find me worthy, no more the mandate mamia, would establish an app that would be a game changer. That would provide a student resource center. That would provide a counseling unit. Our students can have access to counselors at every point in time. Okay. That would generate funds to the union. I've also mentioned that the student loan issue, like I did in UCC, where I established the zero fees payment policy, would be on my heart. I'm looking at we bringing private party or private Ghana into student loan products, just like it happens in other jurisdictions. Dear Mekene Senior, this contest is a matter of ideas and track record. For whatever it is, Ghanaian students in 2016 gave me Student President of the Year, and after 10 years, I was awarded as one of the student leaders of the decade. Okay. I believe that these do not come just by chance. I believe that these are an embodiment of what I believe in. I have pursued this. I have told you my policies, and I believe that in all humility, I would pursue the goal and interest of every single student. With the gift of speaking that God has given me, it shall be used to the benefit of our student. The Nugs president is not about who is strong or whose pen is faster. It's about who can represent the student's interests at all given levels. It's about whose track record can propel the student activism in our country. I'm grateful for the opportunity to have had this encounter today. Facha me se mintimi in country in Coast Street. Na me de brofone frafra. The hear me back on say Ghana school for etie me ene ehu the difference, which is a matter of ideas and track record.
And Dennis,
me ye number one.
Number one on the
Maminya botren cheche no mu. Number one has a spiritual meaning. And it has a significance. Inti se kasa oye number one aya na bibi ta echiri. Inti ne se nyagidie ye number one.
Number one, Dennis Neten and Kano. Dr. Sly, Ghanaian student are listening.
Thank you. I want to say a very good evening to Ghanaian students. Like I said earlier on, my name is Sylvester Uswamwakon, student at Central University and the former SRC president of University of Ghana. I think it's been clear. In 2018, 2019, I was there. I received the SRC President of the Year award in the Nugs ceremony chaired by the Honorable Minister Matthew Poko Prempeh. During my time, through the face of Legon, we raised 20,000 cedis with the app that was used for voting. We did things like we secured funding to renovate the SRC Union building, which has been done. We started registration rescue team, which was supposed to support several freshers on campus when they come, about 10,000 students, which happened. We were able to reduce shuttle fares for about 10,000 students, brought alternative buses, HM Boafo buses, which are on University of Ghana campus today. The generators that was bought during Joshua Dogbe's time, about 4 years before we came, for the first time, the generators on main campus were fueled, and then hope was restored. And you realize that if there was anybody huddled in a forgotten corner of Commonwealth Hall and had no other option to read, that hope was rekindled because today that generators will work when the lights are off. But most importantly, what am I talking about? I'm talking about things like student loan. That a student huddled at Tamale campus, Nyankpala, or the University of Ghana, and who has registered on student loan and wants to use that money for academic user fee should not defect because at the end of the day, payments were not made. We are saying that there can be a way to allow those people right, and then at the end of the day, their monies are paid back. If there are just two things you ask me to do as Nugs president, I'll solve the issue of student loan and I'll talk about the issue of coach clinics. as someone who runs a personal NGO, Sylvester Mako Leadership Training, even in this time, I've had the opportunity of training several students in CV writing and in basic skills that they need in the universities. We want to reach out to our colleagues in the SHS schools, someone in Navrongo campus, someone in Winnisek, someone in Infanspin, Presec, Opokuwari, Ebri Girls, and tell them about life in the university, what courses they can do. And Senior Obi, I'm telling you that if you as a Nugs alumni is standing in Winneba Secondary and telling people about your career, chances are that one little boy who has a funny name with a skinny face may be inspired to do that. And that is what I believe is the burden of Nugs. I'm talking about things like having core math air on national TV. There are many people in forgotten places in this country who cannot afford extra classes and today cannot make it to the tertiary schools because they have a D7 or they have an E8. And so one of the social intervention policies we are going to come up with is to have a national core math clinic air. Obi, in ending, I want to say hi to my mom, Ma Jean, Amwako, and my daddy. They are watching me. Obi, my presence on the stage is partly unlikely. I feel that there should be a chance for everybody who has a dream to make it in academia, who has a dream to make it in university through scholarship schemes. I think that Scholarship Secretariat has done well by digitizing it, but I think that more can be done to make scholarships accessible to all. More can be done. And Obi, in ending, the issue about funding. We have a track record of raising money through apps to support the university. Obi, there must be a temporary measure and then a long-term goal. On the long term, there are a lot of students in this country. There are a lot of business desk approaches that we can use to bring money. But then, within the next 3 months, within the next 2 months, we will need money to run the union.
Run the association.
Thank you very much. Let's keep our hopes alive. In God we trust. I'm number 3. God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit.
Thank you so much.
Keep your hopes alive. Keep your hopes alive.
Yeah, that's it, Papa. That's Dr. Sylvester Owusu Amwako and Motene. Number 3 on the ballot paper. Dennis Apia Labi Ampofo, number 1 on the ballot. And Iyadom Boachi Emmanuel, number 2 on the ballot paper. In the Nugs presidential debate, we wish all the candidates very, very well on Monday. And may the best candidate win. At least if you're a student delegate, you are clear in your mind who you are voting for. Do have a great evening and enjoy the rest of our programs. Live commentary is up next. UEFA Champions